Multi-billion-dollar companies acting like they have, quote, marginalized groups' best interest in mind is mind-numbingly idiotic, and it's a pathetic stance for them to take. And it always elicits laughter from me when I see it taking place firsthand. And this is not due to my quote-unquote white privilege, which, let's be honest, folks, if you have half a functioning brain, you know that's as real as the Easter Bunny. I find racism abhorrent. But what I do find funny is the lengths that people will go to and stretch to prove that there's racism lurking around every corner in this day and age. That's as funny as a fat guy getting hit in the gut with a cannonball. Gillette lost billions of dollars as a company after they stupidly tried to shame white men in an advertisement in the wake of the Me Too movement. Nike tried to run a ridiculous campaign based off of a flash-in-the-pan garbage-tier quarterback named Colin Kaepernick, who grew up in an adopted white family that provided him with every advantage in life, incidentally. And he didn't become an activist until after he was cut from his football team, and then he wanted to maintain his relevancy in any way possible. I mean, even a personal shopping company is getting in on the performative virtue signaling. I'm looking right at you, Instacart. Your sentiments are as empty as the head of your company if you think anyone who has common sense is buying your ridiculously misguided attempts at doing nothing more than making a larger profit. Speaking of performative virtue signaling, oh, hi, Disney. The Disney Plus show Falcon and the Winter Soldier insists that, per the words of the man in the show, the first Captain America, Isaiah Bradley, America isn't ready for a black Captain America, only a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, yada, yada, yada. Which is kind of humorous considering in 2008, the United States elected our first black president. First off, Isaiah Bradley isn't the first Captain America. He wasn't written into Marvel lore until 2003, whereas the first real Captain America, Steve Rogers, has been around since 1941. Steve Rogers, the real Captain, was meant to be a beacon of hope for all people regardless of skin color, and that is what he remains. The 2003 run is a weak attempt at deconstructing the original Captain, much in the same vein that the television show is attempting to do but failing miserably at. If you have to see yourself reflected accurately to enjoy something that is based in fiction, you may want to address your own cognitive dissonance. Look at the character of Blade portrayed by Wesley Snipes. He looks nothing like me, yet I have the functioning brain capabilities to see myself as the character without throwing a tantrum because he isn't white. That's the beauty of fiction. Well, it was the beauty of fiction. It was escapism. Now it's as flooded with performative virtue signaling as any boardroom trying to increase their bottom line in the name of being vocally anti-racist for woke points. Isn't it funny that the folks who outwardly scream from the mountaintops that they're, quote, anti-something are usually the ones who are internalizing their own prejudices and biases? The problem with retcons like the Captain America situation is that stupid people can't differentiate between fact and fiction, as illustrated in this screen cap of a Facebook post from yesterday. Racism still rears its ugly head from time to time, but if you actually look around the world and talk to people who don't benefit from causing division over things as trivial on the grand scale as razors, athletic footwear, comic books, movies, television, and keep in mind that the razors and athletic wear, particularly made by Nike, are produced in communist countries with sweatshop laborers working in horrific conditions. You'll find that the United States is in reality one of the least racist countries in the world. It's easy for anyone to discover how much good is in the world, but first you need to stop listening to the mainstream media, people on Twitter, because only 4% of Americans actually use Twitter. So the views that go into the optics of being the majority reflected on the platform aren't based in reality at all. But to the simple minds, those optics are all they need to push their false narratives and ridiculous agendas. I mean, if you want to have an open and honest discussion about racism in the United States, I don't need to be lectured to by idiots selling overpriced ice cream that print stupid slogans and mantras on their cartons. But hey, what do I know?